Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the middle of November 2025. You have this emu, it says curiosity, strategy, and endurance. You have this blue heron, it says diplomacy, peacemaking, and positive omen. So I like to see that. Definitely could be a lot of positivity or something positive happening for you. This definitely seems to be a time of strategy. So that emu says strategy on it, and it seems to be like a good time to come up with a strategy for something that you're trying to accomplish. So I do feel that with the emu card for sure, that coming up with a plan or a way to do something would be good, obviously. You start with the Eight of Cups. I'll show you in a second. The Eight of Cups, the first card in the Celtic Cross is how you're entering into the reading. And so the Eight of Cups definitely could be you walking away from something that no longer serves you, which of course would be great, Virgo. Personally, I really like the Eight of Cups because, again, he is walking away from something that no longer serves him. So obviously that could be a good thing. And the other thing is that he's choosing not to settle for less. I always say the really important part of the Eight of Cups is that those 8 cups exist. It can represent something that does provide you with something. He is getting something from those 8 cups, but there's 1 cup missing. So he's choosing to walk into darkness so that he can find true fulfillment, and he's choosing not to settle for less. And so I do feel that part of this reading is definitely saying that you should make sure that you're not settling for less than you deserve, of course. And if you do that, I feel, that will be a good thing with that card. Your next card is the Seven of Cups. Too many options. There is something about the rest of this month, that I think could be bringing up options. When you think about it, it's Mercury retrograde. And during retrogrades, we can definitely reflect on the past, right? And so I do feel that this retrograde might have you reflecting on all the opportunities that you missed, the ones that you took advantage of, all the goals that you have. I feel a lot with this Seven of Cups. I feel like it's talking about a lot of different aspects of your life. And, there are good things and bad things in these cups. I don't really feel good or bad about this card either. I just think that it's a time of reflection the rest of the month for you, Virgo. I do feel like you're a Virgo, so I do feel like organizing these things, these thoughts that you're having could be a good thing. If you're looking at all the things that you've accomplished, it's maybe those things follow a pattern, and it's popping into my head that by knowing what that pattern looks like, you'll be able to spot new opportunities much faster. So I kind of feel this sifting and sorting energy here, where it's you're looking at opportunities, things that worked, things that didn't, and maybe you're looking at what is in common with the things that work, so you can see it more. And like I said, I think that's an amazing thing to be doing with this card. I've never had that message on the Seven of Cups, but that's what I'm getting. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Temperance card. It's you're trying to change something. Temperance is alchemy. It's turning he's trying to turn water into wine, but, it can say that you're trying to turn anything into anything, really. And again, I do think this is a good energy for you. I feel that you should be practicing alchemy, changing the energy. This could be changing the energy by changing yourself, by changing your mindset, or it could just be by changing the situation itself, right? And so kind of messing around, it seems to me you're messing around with changes, you're becoming more, it's almost I get a sense of creativity off of the card. We don't necessarily consider the Temperance card to be creative, but, I just intuitively, I feel that you are becoming more creative, or you're taking a more creative approach to the things that you're working on. It's kind of weird. It's I'm just going to tell you what I'm thinking, what's popping into my head here, Virgo. It's almost you do something well. Imagine if you were an artist. It's you can do it well and be perfectly fine. But it's if you add a little bit of your creativity to it and do something unique or different, then you not only are your skills going to be used well, but you're going to stand out. It's almost this is a missing piece of the puzzle, I feel, because it's you do something in life. I feel this is something you do, your job or your side hustle or a hobby. It could, even if you're retired, it could be something that you just do for fun. And I feel like the Temperance card is saying that adding a little bit of a unique twist, adding a little bit of your flair into whatever you're doing will make all the difference in the world. And, I feel that this card is encouraging you to do that. This is the path to glory right here, and there's this glowing crown in the background. So the Temperance card wants us to claim our crown. But, we have to make changes to do it. Again, like I said, usually with the Temperance card, adding a unique twist to something or making it uniquely yours so that people, when they see it, they say, that's Virgo right there. It's like, a lot of people can sing, right? But there are some people who sing where you're like, that is that person. Like, you don't even need to see them. It's their voice. It's like, that's what you're trying to create here, I feel, Virgo, where it's like, if people hear something like a quote or something, they'll be like, that's Virgo. Or if they see something you did, they're like, that's Virgo. They just know it's you. It's almost like you're putting your mark on something. I don't know. Damn. Pretty powerful, Virgo. You have the Nine of Swords. This is coming up in the area of your foundation. One thing I will say is that I feel Virgo has been working on their foundation for a very long time, like where you get your security. If we look at Virgo's astrology, it's been external. It's like your support has come externally, or maybe you have been leaning on external support. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but I do feel that the universe has been trying to get Virgo to be a little bit more independent, or it's like building strength. It's like that's what the universe has been trying to get you to do. The Nine of Swords requires strength because this person is in a comfort zone. They've had a nightmare, they've woken up, and they're stuck in a nightmare. And the whole point of the card is that they have to get out of bed, and they have to move towards something that they're trying to accomplish. But, they could easily leave this situation. But I really kind of just get this strength message on this card. It's like the universe has been trying to get you to lean on yourself more. And again, that does not mean that you can't ask for help, or it doesn't mean that you shouldn't ask for help, but we can't always have a person there to help us. So I think it's like saying that you are building or have been building your own strength so that you can kind of like lean on yourself, right? Next, in the area of the past, this is the energy that you're moving past. You have this Sphinx card. It says, choose your words carefully. You have this talisman. It says, you are destined to succeed, which is amazing. So there definitely could be some sort of success coming in for you. The whole entire year has been a year, 2025 I'm talking about, has been a year where we have to watch our words. This is going to continue into until 2033. That's 2 3s right there. People keep saying that I'm saying 2023, but I clearly said 33. So 2 3s after that. And so until for like the next 7 years, we have to watch our words. We have Uranus and Gemini. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Uranus loves being in Gemini. Gemini's ruler is Mercury, so Uranus loves being there. But one thing that we should pay attention to is how we talk to ourselves. So that is going to continue, but definitely some sort of success. You have the King of Cups also in the past. I don't think you're like leaving your emotions in the past, but I think your emotions are different now. He has very deep emotions, and he has explored his emotions to a deep level. The King of Cups is really about, it could be a person, but in this situation, I think it's your emotions. And I feel it's like how you relate to your emotions or how you use your emotions. And, I'm getting a million things here. I think it's going to be different for all of you. It's like some of you literally could be becoming more emotional. And that doesn't mean you're going to be a crying mess every 2 seconds. But what I do think it means is that you're more tapped into your emotions. I think some of you are going to become less emotional. And again, that is not a bad thing. It just means that you're probably not going to be crying every 2 seconds, right? So, I think I get a different feeling for each and every one of you. But the important thing with the King of Cups is that we have to make sure we're not drowning in our emotions. The whole point of the card is that he has his emotion, right, which is healthy. We should be feeling our emotions. We should be expressing them or whatever. But he eventually comes up for air. He's not drowning in his emotions. And, maybe that's a lesson that you have learned, Virgo, is that you can be emotional, but you don't have to stay stuck in emotion. And yeah, I kind of feel that. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this Milk and Honey card and this Community card. Yes, I said in the very first reading I did today for Cancer that I felt like everybody was going to get something about happiness for the rest of the month, and I definitely wasn't wrong. You have the Six of Cups here. You have this Milk and Honey card, which is all about being happy. I kind of feel like it's because we have this water trine that's happening this month. Water trines are very positive, and it's forming up with Jupiter in Cancer, which is also very happy energy. So it makes perfect sense to me that everybody is getting these energies that are like, it's time to be happy. And that doesn't mean you get to be happy. It means you need to do things that make you happy so that you can enjoy life more. And I'm probably going to say this to the next 8 signs for the next 8 readings that I do for all of them, because it seems very important this month for whatever reason. Community could be very important for you as well. I think Virgo in particular has learned lessons about trust over the past many years, like who you can trust, who you can't trust, who you shouldn't blindly trust, and how you shouldn't blindly trust as well. And so you've learned a lot about like who you can work with, who you can't work with, who you should work with. And yeah, I would just keep paying attention to your feelings around people because they're probably not wrong. You have the Six of Cups, amazing card for community. The Six of Cups can be thinking about the past. It's a card of innocence and nostalgia, but it's also just like childlike energy. There are these 2 children here. The card wants us to be playful, wants us to enjoy life more, wants us to do more of what we do enjoy so that we can have fun in life. And that's what I would focus on here with the Six of Cups, is like doing something to have more fun with the Six of Cups, or doing something to enjoy life more. As always, I'm pretty sure you've been getting this card with me a lot. There is something important about the Six of Cups for you, Virgo, about being willing to break something. South Node in Virgo, the problem for you with South Node in Virgo is trying to be too perfect, right? And the Six of Cups says, sometimes I think it can say that we are handling things too delicately. We're not, it's like we could be working on a project and we're not making an impact because we're, trying to be too safe, or we're trying to not rock the boat, basically. And the Six of Cups, I feel for you, definitely with the South Node Virgo right now, is saying you need to be willing to rock the boat. You need to be willing to be messy, to, break things. The other thing I think about is in the middle of the month here, we have Uranus retrograding into Taurus. It's like we have to be willing to break things. Uranus and Taurus, like a bull in a china shop. We have to maybe make a mistake, and that's okay. And so be willing to make mistakes. Mistakes are a good thing. Mistakes are good during Mercury retrograde. We always learn 1,000 times faster during Mercury retrograde. I make mistakes on purpose during Mercury retrograde because I know that it will help me perfect whatever I'm trying to do. But you can't be perfect when you start something, right? You have to perfect something over time. And I really get that feeling on the Six of Cups. On top of all that, definitely could be love. You have the Lovers and the Two of Cups as your outcome. And the Six of Cups can be a soulmate. I feel like this is a new person for sure, even though you have the Six of Cups. Next, in your outcome row, you have this good news card. It says all forms of communication, text, email, documents, phone calls, letters, notes, and voice messages. You have this caregiver. It says support, seek advice, getting help, physical, emotional healing. We just said that with the King of Cups. Self-care, recovering, and service. So definitely could be some good news here. It's an amazing time to focus on your health, of course. I've been telling everyone as well, like at the end of the year here, I'm not the biggest fan of Neptune and Pisces, and we're getting to the end of Neptune and Pisces, so I would just stay healthy is what I will say. I can't really say too much on what I really think on YouTube, so there you go. But what I would say is I would make sure you're staying healthy, for sure, right? Next, in the area of the next few months, you have the Star card, which is amazing. The Star is hope, faith, and renewal and healing. So you definitely could be doing a lot of healing at the end of the year here. The Star card is also about having a North Star, having like that guiding light, that one thing that you work towards, like that big goal, wish, or dream. And again, for you, with Pisces being your opposite sign, it's like you and Pisces need to be working towards something impossible, or that seems impossible, because it isn't. And because if there was ever a time where you should get started on something impossible, it would be right now. Now, the thing with the Star is we need to pick something that we want to become, or something that we are willing to immerse ourselves in. So it's like, if this is a career, for example, it's like, what career would you not mind making a part of your lifestyle where it becomes something deeper than just a career? And, I don't know. Only you know the answer to that question. Same thing with like a business or a relationship. With the star, we have to immerse ourselves into the pool right here. This is the pool of universal consciousness. It's like we're not just flowing, we are in the flow. We are in the energy, right? We are integrated with something. It becomes us. And I would think about that. Could even be a hobby or something like that you're enjoying as part of your life. But I almost feel like you are plugging into like the fabric of the universe, to say something clickbaity here, Virgo. And, it could be something that you enjoy doing. But I think you need something like that. It could even just, like I said, could be a hobby. When we do those things, when we get into the flow, it helps other areas of life as well. I am convinced of this, that when we have like a hobby that we really enjoy, where we get into that flow state, it doesn't just help the hobby, it helps other areas of life as well. I don't get any answers to anything when I'm working, right? At all. But when I'm doing fun things, that's where I get the best answers to anything that I'm dealing with in life. So I feel this card is definitely saying you need to be more tapped in for the rest of the month. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships. You have the Four of Pentacles. If you want love, Four of Pentacles could say you're playing it a little bit too safe. It could say that you need to take a bigger risk or meet new people or do something to meet new people. So I would highly recommend it with the Four of Pentacles. It kind of represents stepping out of a comfort zone. It is a pretty good card to get in this part of the reading, though, because, it does say that you are going to be getting a lot of support from the people around you. And I do feel there is an element of this reading, like even the blue heron. Heron medicine, if you read the Ted Andrews book, Animal Speaks, the heron is about self-reliance. It's about relying on yourself. And, there's definitely a theme going on here about that, but that doesn't mean you can't get help from other people, and I would definitely recommend it. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Lovers. Definitely could be love coming in for those of you that want it. Could be a very strong connection. I think the whole entire reading is amazing for love. Like, not as in a person, but the energy of love. Obviously, if you want to immerse yourself in something, you should probably love what you're doing. And so the energy of love is going to be very important this month. I would make sure you're doing more of what you love. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of that right now with Uranus going back into Taurus, because Taurus is very heart-based energy. It like wants us to do more. It wants us to create a life of freedom. Obviously, you would love that. It would be something you love, right? So more love here, Virgo. Your outcome is the Two of Cups, which again is great for love. Could be a perfect match coming in for you. Two of Cups is usually a person who is different than your usual type, but again, it could be anyone. This is also you and your higher self. So the Two of Cups is an amazing card for communicating with your higher self, and Mercury retrograde is an amazing time for communicating with your higher self. So, paying attention to your intuition, paying attention to like signs, symbols, synchronicities, things like that would also be a very good idea. With the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords, a victory and a focus, right? All this month has been about people really focusing in on one thing. And so I do feel this card is it's definitely like encouraging you to focus at this time, and it's encouraging you to do something that you really want to do. I think it could lead to a victory. With the Temperance card, here you go. You have the Two of Cups. Again, Temperance is two cups mixing together. So here you go. Definitely could be a person coming in for you that you will mix well with. You might already have your eye on a person here, Virgo, because the Temperance card could say that you are wondering if you will mix well together with a person. And the Two of Cups would say, hell yes. So definitely could be a connection. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords. Yes, everybody, no one except for you has had this card in this set of readings, but in November in general, a lot of people have been getting the Queen of Swords. This retrograde seems to be bringing a lot of answers. It's like some retrogrades do, some retrogrades don't. I think some retrogrades are more confusing than others. I think some are slower than others. I definitely feel this one is very slow. It's weird that it's already the middle of the month. Like, this month has flown by for me. I don't know, maybe it has for you too. It's moved very quickly, but I also haven't gotten anything done. So I've been very lazy during this Mercury retrograde. And but what I would say is the good news with this retrograde is I think it's bringing a lot of answers. With the King of Cups, you have the Judgment card. Yeah, again, you've had a lot of these realizations, I feel, over the past many years, Virgo. It's definitely been a little bit of an intense learning time for you emotionally, I feel, and also in connection to love as well. But, all emotions in your life, it's probably been a little bit of a whirlwind of emotions. But now I feel like you're like waking up and you're kind of like moving forward. So I feel pretty good about this. With the Six of Cups, you have the Three of Swords. Yeah, I would make sure you're healed before you enter into anything. I would make sure that someone, if you're dating a new person, that they are healed as well. The Three of Swords is a great card for forgiveness, and we have to remove those swords from our own heart so that we can heal. So if you're meeting a new person, I would make sure that you have healed from the past. Also, I would make sure if they're acting weird or something like that, if you need to tell them like, hey, you go heal and come back to me when you're ready, right? I always tell people we should not wait for anyone, right? There are like 8 billion people on this planet. There are plenty of people that are healed right now. You shouldn't be waiting for a person who's like a wounded animal, right? So I do feel like this is saying make sure they're healed. With the Star, you have the Empress, which is great. This is coming up in the area of your next few months, so definitely could be a lot of abundance coming in for you. Empress, Empress and Star is a lot of attention, Virgo. So, again, you're probably going to have a lot of options as far as people are concerned. And, if you want love, I would definitely be putting yourself out there. But again, she works on what she loves. The whole point of the Empress is that she can grow this wheat in front of her very easily. All she has to do is wave that scepter in front of her and the wheat will grow. What can you do easily? You probably have a skill or a talent, gift, skill, or ability that you can do easily, and that's what I would focus on. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles is resourcefulness, and it's about like in the area of your closest relationships. It would be about like paying attention to who gets what energy from you, and it might be a good time to be resourceful with your energy. So like, don't give people too much energy. Is kind of what this is saying. It's like saying make sure that you're keeping enough energy for yourself. Make sure you're not burning yourself out, right? And as long as you do that, you will be fine. With the Lovers, you have the Five of Swords. Some of you could be like leaving a situation finally or cutting something off. I don't feel bad about this at all. Again, it feels like something that's already over, but you could be kind of like finally cutting something off or finally kind of cutting the cords here, which I think would be good. I feel for some of you, you're taking a risk on a person. Like it feels to me, it's almost like you could be going for a person that there's competition for, but you could win the competition. The Five of Swords, the guy at the front of the card is the winner. He has won at all cost. So I don't know if you're attracted to a person where maybe a lot of people are interested in the person, you could be the one that's going to be the winner. With the Two of Cups, you have the Chariot, the winner. Chariot is winning. It is victory, success, achievement, getting something you want. So the Chariot is like charging towards a victory. And I feel a lot of you definitely could be doing that. Could be with a person, doesn't have to be. This could be any type of victory that you're having in general. You have the Sun card, says happiness and well-being. Yes, all the readings have been talking about happiness and people like channeling happiness, like choosing to be happy. Mercury retrograde, we definitely have to do things. Like, we're not just going to be happy, right? We have to make sure we're doing things that make us happy. And the thing that goes into that as well is responsibility. We have Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so I tell people all the time, it's like sometimes we have to sacrifice something right now that might not make us happy, that will make us happy in the future. That is responsibility, right? Sometimes we have to delay gratification. So this goes both ways. It's not saying like, oh, just go party 24/7. It's like a little bit of both, right? And so as long as you balance that out, I think you'll be fine. You have this arrow. It says you're on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Yes, Ace of Swords and the Judgment card is basically saying you're on the right path. So I would keep going. You have this Moon card that says changes in your life. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going through a lot of changes right now. We're being moved in a new direction. Again, we're in a completely new world. We had Pluto in Capricorn last year. Pluto's in Aquarius this year. Pluto is generational. Whenever Pluto changes signs, we are definitely entering into a new time where we have to make changes. So, yes. You have this tower. It says solid foundation, success with effort. Yeah, definitely. You're going to have to put in effort to be successful. And probably, like I said, maybe you're going to have to delay gratification. That popped into my head with that happy card. So there you go. You have this tulip. It says great passion on it. The whole entire reading was talking about love or passion. So, I would be really putting my time, effort, and energy into things that you are passionate about here, Virgo, because that's where you're going to get the most success. But this looks really good. I love it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.